best-selling author whose stories inspired generations of children, but no one knew the writer, as if he never existed. How can someone be so real, yet seem like nothing more than a myth?
Harbor Point had many stories. Some were hidden between the pages of old books. Inside the Harbor Point Public Library, a large history display was being prepared. One special section was dedicated to the name almost everyone in Harbor Point had heard before.
Anthony Blackwood?
You don't know him?
Should I?
He wrote those old adventure books everyone used to talk about.
The ones with the kids solving mysteries?
Exactly.
My parents mentioned those books before.
For a long time, children in Harbor Point loved them. Every new book became a big event.
So why is he in the history display?
Because that's the problem. We have his books. We have his publisher's records. We have old newspaper articles about how popular he was. But we don't have him.
What does that mean?
Nobody knows who Anthony Blackwood really was. Not even his publisher.
Wait, his own publisher never met him?
According to their records, every manuscript simply arrived anonymously. Typed pages, no meetings, no interviews, no photographs.
That is either brilliant or extremely dramatic.
Or both, considering how popular he was.
Then, one day, the books simply stopped coming, without any warning.
And nobody could find him?
For decades, people tried. Reporters, publishers, collectors, even readers. He had a huge fan base that never stopped looking. But no one ever discovered the truth. Anthony Blackwood became Harbor Point's greatest literary mystery.
So, you want us to find a writer who disappeared decades ago?
Only if you're interested.
Maya picked up the book and looked at the worn cover. A group of young heroes stood at the edge of a forest, holding a lantern.
We can start with the stories.
And the publishing records. And anyone old enough to remember when the books were popular.
Maybe the stories themselves have clues.
Great! So we're searching for an invisible man who may or may not still exist.
Yeah, finally, your adventurous spirit has met its match.
The team's first stop was Principal Harris's office. They figured he was in high school when Anthony Blackwood's books were at their peak, and he might know more about the stories.
Do you have a moment, sir?
Sure. How can I say no to a chat with my most famous students?
Thank you. We were wondering if you could tell us anything about Anthony Blackwood.
Certainly. When I was your age, everyone knew those books. Every time a new one came out, someone would bring it to school the very next day. By lunchtime, half the class had already borrowed it.
The librarian said every book was a huge success.
Absolutely. There wasn't much competition back then. No streaming, no smartphones. When a new Anthony Blackwood book came out, that was the event.
Did you read them all? Did you have a favorite?
Honestly, I loved all of them. Every mystery felt different. Every adventure made you feel like you were right there with the characters.
Did people ever wonder who the author really was?
Sometimes, but not very often. We were kids. We cared far more about the next adventure than the person writing it.
Fair enough.
Come with me. Let me show you something.
Principal Harris walked over to a tall bookshelf behind his desk. He looked across the shelves for only a second before pulling out a familiar row of worn, hardback books. Each cover showed signs of having been read countless times.
I've kept these ever since I was a boy. The complete collection.
I think you were probably his biggest fan, sir.
Not just me. Everyone wanted to be the first to get their hands on the newest book.
Can we borrow some of the books?
Sure, but take good care of them. These books are older than you are.
We'll bring them back exactly as they are, sir. Promise.
Do you know anyone from that time who might remember something more?
Actually, there might be someone who can tell you more than these books can. My old English teacher, Mr. Carter. He taught at this very school for decades. Generation after generation of students adored him.
Is he still around?
He retired years ago, but he still lives here in Harbor Point. He loved books more than anyone I've ever known. If anyone can tell you more about Anthony Blackwood, it's probably him.
He sounds like quite a teacher.
He made all of us believe reading wasn't homework. It was an adventure.
The team left the school carrying a stack of well-loved books and the name of one retired teacher who might hold the first real clue. Their next stop, Mr. Carter's house. Mr. Carter lived on the quieter side of Harbor Point. When the team arrived, they found a small, well-kept home surrounded by flowers and neatly trimmed hedges. Marcus rang the doorbell. A few moments later, the front door opened. An elderly man with kind eyes and a warm smile greeted them.
Hello. Do I know you kids?
Good afternoon, Mr. Carter. Principal Harris sent us to speak with you. We need some guidance.
Thomas Harris? My goodness, I still remember him sitting in the third row, always borrowing one more book than he was allowed.
Sounds like him.
Please, come in.
The moment they stepped inside, it felt less like entering a house and more like walking into a private library. Books covered nearly every wall. Everything was perfectly organized.
Make yourselves comfortable. Can I offer you some tea? Or perhaps some lemonade?
We're good, thank you.
All right then. What brings you to this old man's house?
We want to learn more about Anthony Blackwood. The Central Library is trying to find him, and they came to us for help. Principal Harris thought you might have some valuable information that could make the search easier.
I haven't heard that name in quite some time, but I still remember how obsessed my students were with his books.
Were the books really as popular as everyone says?
Even more than people remember. My students couldn't wait for each new adventure. You see, I had a rule in my class. The last 10 minutes were for non-academic discussions. We'd talk about books, films, TV shows, and all sorts of things. I always believed you could learn from anything. Knowledge is never wasted, no matter where it comes from. I've always encouraged my students to read more, to watch things that educate as well as entertain.
Now I wish I'd been one of your students. Did you read any of Anthony's books yourself?
I read a few. I was never really the target audience, but my students loved them. They're the reason I ended up reading those books. They wanted to discuss them more than anything else.
Did anyone ever wonder who Anthony Blackwood was?
Not really. He was famous, but as I mentioned, the target readers were children, so we adults didn't pay much attention to the writer. Years later, people became just as interested in the man as they had been in his stories.
Did your students ever try to solve it?
Oh, countless times. Every few months, one of them would come to school convinced they'd cracked the case. But eventually, they all discovered one interesting thing. There were no residents of this town named Anthony Blackwood. In fact, there wasn't a single Blackwood at all. The man simply didn't exist.
You just blew my mind, sir. How is that even possible?
Do you think he might have been a ghostwriter? Or maybe he continued writing under his real name?
Very unlikely. His writing style was very unique. It wasn't rich in literary language. It was simple. As far as I know, no books published later ever shared the same writing style.
This case is getting really interesting. Now I understand why people couldn't find him after all these years.
Do you think we might have a chance of finding him? If he's still around?
Honestly, I can't say for sure. But I can see real curiosity in your eyes, and I like that. If you're determined, don't give up too easily. I've spent my whole life telling my students exactly the same thing.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll never walk away from a mystery without giving it our best.
That's exactly the mindset you should carry throughout your lives. I'm only sorry I couldn't be more helpful.
You've helped us more than you think. And as you said, knowledge is never wasted. I can see you have a huge book collection. Have you read books by other Harbor Point writers?
I have. I still read a great deal. Some of my former students even became writers themselves. I couldn't be prouder of them. Each has their own unique style of storytelling. That reminds me, what kinds of books do you all enjoy reading?
I like adventure stories. Anything with exploration. Mountains, jungles, old maps.
Excellent! I have something for you. If you enjoy adventures, start with these. The journeys are unforgettable.
Wow, thank you.
I usually end up reading local history, old newspaper articles, things like that.
History is simply yesterday's story. Most people never realize how interesting it can be. I think you'll enjoy these.
Looks like my weekends are officially booked.
I mostly read about ancient civilizations, how they became so advanced, and how much of their knowledge still relates to modern science. I also love reading about computers and technology.
That's brilliant. I really admire your curiosity about both the ancient and modern worlds. Never lose it. Some of today's greatest inventions began as impossible ideas.
I don't think I would have found these on my own. Thanks a lot.
My favorite subject is human psychology. I like observing people. I want to learn more about body language.
Fascinating. Observation is one of the rarest skills a person can develop. I believe you'll appreciate this. And what about you?
Honestly, I read a little bit of everything.
That's quite remarkable. And I think I know exactly what you're looking for. Essays about teaching, leadership, and literature.
Thank you, sir.
You are very welcome. Remember, academic books help us succeed in school, but books outside the classroom help us understand the world. Never stop reading just because you've graduated. Learning shouldn't end when the lesson ends.
Snoop Troop had arrived, looking for clues about a forgotten author. Instead, they found someone who made every conversation feel like a lesson worth remembering. Later that afternoon, the team returned to their headquarters. They came back with a bunch of books Mr. Carter had lent them and couldn't wait to start reading.
Let's see what we've got. I don't think this belongs here.
Maybe it's one of Mr. Carter's notebooks.
Let's have a look.
The first page had a date, May 10th. I don't think Margaret is telling me everything. She says she's fine. I hope she's right. May 26th. The doctor looked worried. I don't know what to do. June 18th. My readers are waiting, but I can't write. July 3rd. I have to stay strong for her. September 29th. I've been staring at the typewriter all day. I still can't write a single word. The final page reads, I have lost everything.
Margaret? Readers? What's all this about?
Wait. My readers are waiting. I can't write. Was he Anthony Blackwood? Think about it. Anthony doesn't exist because that's not his real name. And the librarian said all the manuscripts were typed and delivered directly to the publisher.
If that's true, it would explain everything. But then again, if he chose to keep his identity a secret, there must have been a reason. I agree with Maya. This is his secret. We have to respect his privacy and his wishes.
Then let's go back and talk to him, and let him decide whether he wants to tell us the truth.
The following afternoon, the team returned to Mr. Carter's house.
Hello again. I wasn't expecting to see you so soon.
We hope we're not disturbing you, sir.
Not at all. Come in.
We'll only stay for a few minutes. Actually, we came to return this.
Maya placed the small notebook on the table. Mr. Carter looked at it. His expression remained calm.
It must have slipped between the books you lent us. We're really sorry. We read a few pages before we realized it was your personal notebook.
You have nothing to apologize for, so don't worry.
Sir, there's something we'd like to ask you. After reading the notebook, we think we may have discovered who Anthony Blackwood really was.
But if you don't wish to discuss it any further, we'll understand.
We'll stop looking into it right away, and we won't tell anyone.
You can tell us.
After meeting all of you yesterday, I had a feeling. If anyone ever found out, it would be you. Although I suppose my notebook made your job a little easier. Anyway, Anthony Blackwood was my pen name.
Why did you hide your identity, sir? Everyone already admired you.
That's exactly why. I never wanted children to read my books because they knew me. I wanted them to read the stories because they genuinely enjoyed them. So I sent every manuscript anonymously. When the books became successful, I realized I liked it that way. My students would talk about every new adventure. They would argue about the endings, debate the characters, and tell me which stories they loved the most. Because they never knew I was the author, their opinions were always honest. Those conversations made me a better writer.
So you never planned to stay anonymous forever?
No. Margaret and I had a plan. After I retired, we were finally going to tell everyone the truth. Then we'd travel the world together. Just the two of us.
But then, she became ill.
Everything happened so fast, I couldn't even process what was happening. My mind was no longer with the stories. It was with her. Every day, every hour. I would sit in front of the typewriter, and nothing came. I couldn't give my readers the story they deserved, so I stopped writing.
And after she was gone, you couldn't bring yourself to reveal the truth.
The dream belonged to both of us. Revealing my identity without Margaret beside me never felt right. That moment was supposed to be ours. She was the only person who knew the truth. She was my proofreader and my toughest critic. Those stories belonged to her just as much as they belonged to me.
We're deeply sorry for your loss, sir. I'm sure your wife would have been very proud of you.
Your books already gave people everything they needed. Adventure, wonder, stories they'll never forget.
And the mystery has become part of the story itself.
So, maybe Anthony Blackwood should remain inside the world he created.
That means more than you know. You young people have made this old teacher prouder than you can imagine. As long as I'm here, my door will always be open to all of you. I'll help in any way I can. Thank you.
The mystery of Anthony Blackwood had finally been solved, but Harbor Point would never know. And maybe that wasn't such a bad thing after all. As the team walked home, they passed a small, family-owned restaurant preparing for the evening rush. A customer stepped outside, shaking his head in disbelief.
I'm telling you, she's actually chanting mantras while she cooks. The rumors aren't made up. I've heard it.